Morning. It is Monday morning. Good morning, Creator Queen Toya. How you doing? Good morning. I am enough. How you doing? So you all, there are a lot of things going on in the news today. I don't know if you all heard. What's up, Creator Queen? I don't know if you all have heard. They had a shooting in Austin, Texas. Unfortunately, it's a guy who went to Sixth Street and unalived three people and injured 14. What's up, CDP? I'm doing well. I am enough. So, allegedly, he had a shirt that had property of Allah, allegedly, and they tend to believe that this happened because of the United States involvement in this attack on Iran with Israel. The alleged perpetrator, they said he was from Senegal and a Muslim. This is in Austin, Texas, which is about maybe an hour, 45 minutes away from San Antonio. I'm saying all of this to say this is why you go to Congress and you let the American people know what's going on. This president seems to think that these Iranians are going to just allow them to steamroll into their country. We have lost three service members because of this. And if you don't think this situation is an act of war, you're crazy. Whenever you go and take out the top brass, the supreme leader of a country, that's an act of war. And I am so afraid that that man is eyeing Cuba now to do the same thing. And he was supposed to be ending all of these wars, but yet we're in these wars. And let me say this, the Epstein files are not going anywhere because that's getting worse. And this president has been implicated in a lot of that. So I want to be very clear this morning that we are in a serious situation, and it's concerning. It's concerning. I don't have time to be talking about lemon and that's good. Let these people do what they want to do. But you all need to be focusing. Yes, I want to say good morning to Hershey. Hershey, let me say this to you. Hershey, you come on inebriated, and drunk Hershey is entertaining. Drunk Hershey is who she is. But there are powers that be that's trying to get me to go against Hershey. Now, a lot of people don't like Hershey, and that's people's issue. Hershey and I will fall out, have a blowout, and come right back together. We are 1099, and that's what we do. But for that person who sent me that email saying that Hershey is playing in my face and doing all of this stuff, I know exactly what you are trying to do. And I'm at a season where I'm not with that. So if you expect me to go off on Hershey and do all of this and so on and so forth, yeah, y'all something else. So the new thing is predicting what people are going to do, and then um, thinking that somebody's going to do that. And the reason why I say that, Hershey, is somebody actually sent me an email. They actually sent me an email. Um, yeah, interesting. So anyway, you all, it's just really weird what people try to do. We are at a situation where we are vulnerable. Oh my God, they putting the Costco right there? Oh my God. Jesus. Ooh. Anyway, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Oh, wait a minute, Jay Wilson. I was listening to TMO reply. It was Big Brian and Castro fight on her panel. I didn't see Brian and Castro fight. You all, I'm telling you, I have not been watching anyone. Um, but Hershey, I did get an email, and it seems like you have a lot of enemies out there. Yeah, and I'm really not. I'm really not into fighting people. I guess I'm not beef sector anymore like that because I know what people try to do, and I'm just sitting here looking. And again, I don't give people access to me who don't see it for me. And when I find out that they really, really have issue with me, we move on. We really do. And the only way I will talk about people if it's in news and I think that is newsworthy. But for me to just go on and talk about folks, but I tell you what, y'all need to be looking and being aware of your surroundings. And I bring that Austin situation up again because you all, no one was expecting that. And a lot of these, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do believe that there are some people who are triggered and they will turn. That man in Austin, I don't really think he knew those people. I don't think he knew those people. I think he just was upset with what was going on in the nation. And to see a president that has no regards for the law, it's crazy. Well, Hershey, I really don't know who that person is. You know, these people hide under troll accounts or they'll make an email and send it. But, oh, they had negative things to say about you that she's going to destroy your page. She's trying to be like Lemon. Oh, it was a lot. It was a lot. I'm sitting there reading this, and I'm like, and so my thing is, I don't have stage managers running my platform, but Hershey, it's a lot of people who don't see it for you because people who don't like you, they don't like me either, Hershey. They don't like me either. They don't like, but what they do like is people fighting or people getting dropped or all of that stuff. Um, that's what they like, and I'm not there. I'm not here for it. And I know what people are trying to do. I know what people are trying to do. Let me say this, you all. Folk have agendas, and again, if you don't like these people, stop being in their presence. Because if they don't like me, and I know for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, I don't give people access to me. Some of these people are YouTube crazy. They don't have friends. They take this apparatus way too seriously. It's not that deep. Well, I don't know who sent the email, but it was interesting. It was very negative things said about Hershey, and I thought it was interesting. Well, I'm not Jesus Christ, but I'm not concerned. When you look at things, I'm looking at what people are fighting over, and right now, you all, I guess YouTube is an escape from reality, but reality is happening. Like I said, we got this Epstein situation going on. We have this Venezuela situation. We still have Maduro and his wife. I don't know why we're holding them. We done left from drugs now to oil, and now Trump is making negotiations with oil. You notice that Trump is trying to starve out Cuba and other countries with this oil, and now he goes to Iran and take out their supreme leader. I have not heard she. I've just been watching a few things on CNN, but I'm driving right now. I usually would watch CNN as I'm driving. I probably watch it as I'm working, but I haven't seen it yet. Hershey, it's all a debacle to me, and I wish Congress would take back their power. I pray that these Republicans wake up and know that this man is leading them down a rabbit hole. People are not happy with what's going on. His approval ratings are dropping. Farmers are losing farms. These tariffs are killing small businesses. This is not for the American people. It's really for him. It is to enrich his family and the 1% because small business owners are feeling it. I have a friend right now, they're making workarounds to get her ingredients for her bakery because the tariffs are killing her when it comes to material. Killing her. Killing her. So my heart goes out. My heart goes out. We're in the month of March. Like to wish all March birthday people happy birthday. I'm excited. I don't know what I'm getting for my birthday. I think I do, but I don't. I don't know what it's gonna be, but we'll see. Um, yeah, we'll see. So, y'all, what else is going on in the world? You know, Pete Hegseth is a idiot. He's a complete idiot. He is a complete idiot. Now, let me say this to you all. I want y'all to watch this. And I don't know if Ebony 757 is in here, but the commander of base is an African American man. He just got that position. Let's see how long he will keep that position under Trump. This is going to be really interesting. What really scares me is that they took out all of these unqualified people and put these. They took out all of these qualified people and put these unqualified individuals in these major top posts. And you talk about affirmative action gone wrong. What Donald Trump has done, Pam Bondi, uh, it's just crazy. Marco Rubio knows that what's going on is wrong, but since Marco Rubio wants power, this is what Marco Rubio is doing. And I'm gonna tell you, Marco Rubio. This is why I'm very concerned about Cuba. Again, they're weakening Cuba. There is an oil embargo. It is crippling Cuba right now. The Cuban people are suffering. And also, there's a lot of things going on with Cuba. I would not be surprised if they would do the same thing in Cuba. It is crazy. Lindsey Graham is despicable. Let me say this. It's bad when Marjorie Taylor Greene has more ethics than the whole party. Let me tell you, Marjorie Taylor Greene said, "I'm out." During the Epstein stuff, those Epstein documents, Marjorie said, "I'm out." She said, I can't take this." And you see how quickly they turned on Marjorie? It's a mess. It's a mess, you all. And I just cannot believe what's going on. Oh, I want to say this. Please vote tomorrow. The primaries are tomorrow. Please vote. Tuesday is your last chance to vote. Please vote on Tuesday. I know that we have had record numbers in Texas to vote early. Record numbers. But please vote on Tuesday. Your vote does count. Now you see Donald Trump trying to even take over voting and counting. The same man who said, "Hey, I just need 11,000 more votes." You think you can do that? Do you think we're going to trust him? I want to give a shout out to all of the poll workers who make sure that things are done correctly, to make sure things are done right. But you all, this election is so friggin' critical. In Texas, we vote Tuesday. I've already voted. But your vote counts. Please don't let people tell you your vote don't count. Please don't let people tell you that. If your vote didn't count, people wouldn't be doing all of this gerrymandering and this redistricting they wouldn't be doing that. We know that your vote is important. Oh, Ebony 757, I was just talking about you. You know that a black man now is running Norfolk Naval Base. They just did a big article that the power transitioned over to him. So I was saying, I wonder how long they're going to keep him. Because, you know, if Trump has anything to do with this, he'll be gone. Y'all, please vote. So make sure you get your vote in. I'm going to tell you, if you think it's bad now, if these Republicans continue to have power, a lot of y'all going to get kicked off of welfare. A lot of y'all going to get kicked off of Medicare and Medicaid. A lot of your rural hospitals are going to close. They're already closing. And people always say, y'all trying to threaten people and scare people. No, they're closing. They're closing. Urban hospitals that depend on Medicaid. It's not only the rural areas, but it's the low wealth areas and urban areas that are closing as well. So you got rural hospitals that depend on Medicare and Medicaid. The majority of the people who are adversely suffering are the people who voted for Trump. When I tell you farmers are really suffering because they can't keep people working, no American is going to be picking peas, strong. Immigrants do that. Y'all know y'all don't want to pay people. That is low wage labor. And now you heard. I thought he was just going to come to get the criminals. No, he's coming for everybody. Baby, they ain't getting them stimulus checks. That man will tell y'all anything. That man will tell you all anything. How not paying taxes on tips working for you? Because there's always a caveat. See, for wealthy people, they get their money, you know, free. They don't have any loopholes. It's the working people and the working poor who get stiffed. Yeah, he gave you $1,000, but you had to pay taxes on it because they get that money right back. See? Let me tell you something. When rural hospitals close, that means you got to get helivac to an emergency room. Do you know how much it costs to get helivac to a hospital? Okay, you can take business class on Delta cheaper than you can do a helivac. What you all don't understand is those small rural hospitals, when you have a serious situation, they stabilize you until you can get to a trauma one hospital. In Texas, it's almost like a hub and spoke. We have major level one hospitals that when people get sick, they have helicopter pads. They're stable. When you don't have that, you're good as gone. And I don't think people understand that. Well, no, Dallas ain't the one. It's Fort Worth. Fort Worth. It's Fort Worth. Tarrant County is kind of purple right now, and I do think Tarrant County might go blue. So out of Dallas, Fort Worth is the red portion. Correct. He's Maybe he done started a war. Yes, he has. And I'm gonna tell you all again, in Austin, Texas. And you know what? It was, I don't know if y'all know this. It was real hush hush. But in Austin, Texas, on 6th Street, which is a known club entertainment, a gunman unalived 3 people, injured 14. It is alleged that he has property of Allah on his shirt. Now you know that the Republicans don't eat that up. You know he looked like us. So you know they're gonna eat that up. You know they're gonna eat that up. But they believe this happened because of the US attack on Iran. Now, I ain't trying to scare nobody, but when I go to the movie, I'm looking at the exit. Where is the nearest exit? When I'm at Walmart, I know where the doors are to get out to the back. Okay? I'm very aware of my Walmart. Y'all think I'm being funny, but I'm being real. Because in the United States, we are so free, and a lot of places that we go are soft targets. Like the mall, maybe when I'm at that mall, I am looking, I am listening, I know my surroundings, I know where to get out. And I'm not trying, but you all, we're in that day and time where this administration has really made the American people unsafe because of our dealings. Unsafe at home, unsafe abroad. Like I said, I would want to be in the United Arab Emirates right now. I wouldn't want to be in Dubai or Egypt. Not after what we've done. And what people don't understand is these are religious political leaders. They're not just political leaders, they are religious political leaders. Look, nobody has to help anybody in my chat. We don't, nobody threatens people to give. Nobody don't help them. Nobody in this chat. This is an entertainment apparatus. If you need help, call 211. Go to United Way. Okay? Go to Goodwill. Go somewhere else. This is not a charity. So if somebody needs help, this is not the place. Go to the right. Go to the right organization. This is not a place where you beg over here. We don't do that. If you need help, go to Catholic Charity. Don't do something else. Don't do that over here. So don't ask nobody to help you. I don't know. I'm reading this, but no, I'm really serious. Go to Catholic Charities. Go to nobody owes you nothing over here. Nothing. These people don't even pay to see me. They just come and see me. So if somebody need help, 211, they'll get you in contact with the help you need. I just saw something that it just went across my eye, and I'm like, I know nobody ain't asking for no assistance up in my room. All right, y'all. I had to block people. You know, people want to do all of that. No, we don't play all of that. Call 211, honey. Call Help Africa. Call Mercy Ship. We don't do that. We don't do that. So you all, I was listening to my nerdy 10 minutes in, went off. YouTube camera, 10 minutes, went off. Um, y'all ain't nothing really going on. Ain't nothing really going on. And I think people are really trying to make things happen. And this is why, I think the Hershey situation came about because folks swear I'm getting ready to jump on Hershey, and which I'm not. I don't think Hershey need to be up here when she's drunk. And let me say this, I could really exploit Hershey when she's drunk. I try not to, but again, I'm not trying to exploit that. But Hershey is who Hershey is. Hershey has always been consistent of who she is. And all I'm gonna say is, whoever sent that email, don't send me shit like that. I'm old enough to know who, what, when, where, and how. Don't do that. And like I said, y'all, I had to block a couple of people from my email because if it's not news that I can use, don't send it. The people who know what I like, they know what I like. The people who don't, yeah, when you start sending me stuff about who said this, I block you. When you start sending me stuff about other people and da da da, I'll see it. If somebody's doing something nefarious, I will see it. You know, let me tell you, every time that I needed to see something, I click on somebody's link and I can see it right there. I can see it right there. A lot of people are blocked because I've seen some things and it didn't sit well in my spirit, and I just block. And I don't have to come on and brag about it. I just do what I need to do. I see stuff and I don't say not one word. There's no need to say any word. You just see it. I'm telling you, I do not give people access to me who will smile in my face and then do X, Y, Z. And I know that's the beef sector, but y'all give people access, like other certain content creators. Nope, you don't get access to me. Mm-mm, mm-mm. And guess what? I'm not trying to get access to you. See, it works both ways. When you block the person, don't go running over there to their chat and dropping down and being mad. I can't understand how people don't like you, but they always typing. I don't get it. But anyway, I guess people are gluttons for pain. What's up? Just trying to figure it out. Uh-uh. That's the beauty of it. You don't tell everybody. That's the beauty of it, Stephen. You don't tell everybody. If you share the list, then you just broke it. I just do it, baby. When I block you, I just block you, baby. Let me tell you something. I be like them highway patrols. I don't know, but when I used to live in Florida, plans. I'm back, you all. I get into these construction areas, and they are doing construction everywhere in San Antonio. But let me say this again, you all. Well, people go where they want to go. Can I say that people go where they want to go? This is why I don't need people reporting on where Catherine been and what Catherine said, because again, they want me to fight Vivian, they want me to fight Catherine, they want me to fight Hershey. And even if I did want to fight them, even if I did want to fight them, which is not the case, but even if I did, I'm not giving folk the satisfaction. And let me say this to y'all again with that block thing. Let me tell you something. That block game is fierce, okay? And uh, all I'm gonna say is, when you block, you'll know it. And I don't want to curtail your speech. I don't want you to not speak freely. But if I deem something to be, if it don't settle in my spirit, I just block it. Because when you don't need YouTube for your income, when you don't need YouTube to take care of things, you don't care. And it's not like I don't care about my subscribers, but you don't let people do all kind of stuff, and then now, yeah. So people get blocked. People do get blocked. I don't know if it's jealousy, envy. I don't really know why. I don't really care. I don't like Jay Wilson because of this. Okay, and that's your problem. That's your problem. Let me tell you something. I have a friend, and they have a cousin who is highly decorated military, and has a lot of, he has graduate education. This friend doesn't want to see her cousin because she feels that her cousin thinks she's better. And I'm like, no, that's you. That's you. That's you. When that cousin was sick, that cousin reached out to you. That cousin said, hey, I need you to pray for me. That cousin and you have been friends or relative. I mean, y'all been in contact. So now all of a sudden that's how you feel? That cousin came down to visit you when you were sick. So you got the problem, not the cousin. Because if the cousin felt that she was better than you, she wouldn't be interested in coming to visit you. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. We get intimidated by what people have, education and stuff. Let me tell y'all something. That stuff means nothing. If people really like you, they like you. But this, you think you better than people, that's a lot of the people. That's within them. I don't feel that nobody is better than me. Now, do people do other things better? Some people may sing better than I do. Fine, because you got that gift. But for the mere fact that you are here, you are a winner. Biology has made you a winner, baby. And see, a lot of y'all haven't grasped that concept yet. But for the mere fact that you're here, you are a winner. Now, you can act like a loser, and you can keep on losing. That's what kills me with some of you all. You done made it through the birth canal, didn't get rejected by the egg, fertilized the egg, pop, here you are. But then you start losing. Maybe y'all need to go back to biology and find out who y'all really are. Ain't nobody better. But let me say this too. In the grand scheme of things, we ain't nothing but a big old hunk of dirt that God breathes into. But what makes people different is the decisions and the choices that they make. Y'all, I have friends right now, uber wealthy. I'm talking about 1%. I ain't jealous of that. That's what they supposed to have. But that don't do nothing for me. Unless they want to throw a coin over here. But people start thinking that. And I just, and so when I hear that over here, I'm like, that's you. That's a you situation. They were trying to I guess somebody was trying to make me feel some kind of way because ghetto intellect is a CPA. And I'm like, well, that's great. I'm going to applaud the brother. He went and got his CPA. I mean, he should be making good money. If he ain't making good money being a CPA, something wrong. But that don't have nothing to do with me. And just because he does that, that don't make him any better. But y'all have that mindset. There's somebody's house who's gonna be better than mine. But do I get mad at that and start trying to get a new house to impress folk? No. Baby, I'm, and you don't want to think that people are like that, but some people are. And this is why I tell content creators, stop worried about what people say. You better worry about what God thinks and what you think about yourself. Because, baby, these people want you to be downtrodden. They want you to second guess who you are. You better know who you are. That's real. Stop giving people access. Stop fighting with these people. Close the oven door. Once you close that oven door, honey, you cut the oxygen. And once you cut the oxygen, the fire dies. Y'all just keep on feeding the oxygen. Thank you, Fridge Nat. I believe it. Let me tell y'all something. After watching Tyra Banks, after hearing the contestants on RuPaul Drag Race, if that's what's going on in network television, you know it's bad in the music industry. People will steal songs. They'll steal songs. How they get people caught up into these contracts. And the sad part about it, y'all, the sad part about it is that it be us. It's bad enough that we got to fight against other entities. But when we got to deal with us, don't shop nowhere where people insulting you. I had to tell a store, I said, y'all just lost the sale. I talked to the manager. I said, because I heard this person mouth off that I don't believe she's doing all of that to help him. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm in a store. I'm getting ready to go somewhere. And this lady is actually coordinating items for me. And I got to wear the clothes. And I looked up and I heard a black dude mouth that. Oh, no. Mm-mm. 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 I got her and I got the manager. I said, look, I told the manager, I'm like, XYZ is an excellent salesperson. She is phenomenal. You know, and again, you all, I'm not being demanding. I'm not snapping. I'm just like, no, I don't like that. Could we look at, But now let me say this. If it were a white person, woman, or a man, would that have been an issue? Because when we are discriminating about what we wear, when we want to, then we got a problem. Because I guess we're supposed to just wear anything and go with it. I told that manager, I'm like, she is phenomenal. She's awesome. And the problem is not her. But I said, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to buy from you all because I just heard in earshot and I saw the person and I told the manager what the person said. And it was a black person too. And I said, so because of this, I can't buy here because it feels like I'm inconveniencing you all. And the manager is so apologetic. She was, but I couldn't. And the sad part about it, it was one of us. It was one of us. Let me tell you something. Hmm. I go out of my way to be courteous to people because if you're good, good will come back. Being a flight attendant myself, worked in fast food and worked in retail. Worked at Ivy's department store, worked at Hex department store, and worked at Bird Eyes of Florida. Worked those three retail outlets or stores. Like I said, worked in fast food, was a flight attendant. So, I know what people go through. If the food ain't right, I just call the manager. I always tell the waitress or waiter, I'm like, look, this is not your fault. You've done an excellent job. I know it's the kitchen, something going on. I tell the manager, look, I want to get a refund because I don't believe in sending food back. Y'all know I don't play that. I don't send food back. And I leave the waitress or waiter a tip, and then I move on. I'm not ugly. Don't try to cause a scene. I just don't do that, right? So I don't have a problem calling corporate or writing a letter. I don't have a problem doing that, especially. And I think things over to you all. I'm like, was it really that bad? You think about it. And so when I had to not buy those clothes, I know that that person was not going to get their commission, but I wanted the manager to know why. Because sometimes other folk in your organization can cause the store to lose out. And I'm going to leave that right there. But don't let people insult you. Y'all have seen me go to McDonald's and I'm like, hey, good morning, how you doing? I have a whole chit chat conversation with the people at drive through. You know, and I really try to be emotionally intelligent as possible. But yeah, so don't give people access to you. Shut the door and move on. Like these Trump people, let me say this. I haven't seen so many of my friends lose it because a lot of our high school friends who are Caucasian, or as Les Watkins would say, Caucasian, they love some Trump. I said, y'all stop fighting with these people. Y'all fighting with them ain't gonna change their mind. They like that stuff because that's what's in them, and somebody has rooted that in them. Block them and move on. Don't give them access to you because even though we went to high school with them, these are not the same people, or they were never the person we thought they were. And move on. I don't block so many high school friends or associates. You're not gonna sit there and let that man say racist stuff, and you think that's okay? Oh no, no. But I'm not gonna sit there and argue with you either. I'm just gonna politely block you. Yeah, Fridge Nat, you gotta be courteous. Those people work hard, and having been in a position of working fast food in high school, being in retail, those are low wage jobs that require a lot of work. And the last thing them people need is somebody acting crazy. I ain't no need to be. Let me tell you something. It's no need to be nasty to people. People will do more for you. And let me tell y'all something too. It's not. fake courtesy. It's just I was raised to treat people right. In my neighborhood, there were restaurant workers, people who worked in landscaping. I worked with working class people. They worked hard for their money, and they were decent, law-abiding people. Did they have big houses? No. But what they did have was community. What they did have was loyalty. When I tell you my neighborhood raised me, my neighborhood raised me. My mom was working, my dad was working. My mom would tell me in the morning, "You're going to go over XYZ house." I already knew from jump. When I went to XYZ house, I'm not going to be jumping on her furniture. XYZ would have a little snack for me. I would sit there and watch cartoons and do my homework until my mama came home. And my mama would ask XZ, "Hey, how did he act?" Oh, she was like, "Oh, he was great." I wasn't going to act up with XZ either because XZ could have whooped my tail right then and there. And I appreciate those older people. I mean, I appreciate them. And when you think about it, we didn't need no daycare. We didn't need no daycare. Because them older women wasn't playing in the neighborhood. Everybody was looking out for somebody's child. And you better not talk back to no grown person. And I'm telling you, we knew everybody. I couldn't go down the street because if I did something down the street, my mom and dad would know by the time I got home. It was a different time, baby. It was a different time. It was a different time. It was a different time. If I was down the street and somebody was eating, baby, I ate. If they was over our house, they ate. It was a different time. Everybody was talking to everybody. Just a different time. And I am a Gen Xer. And can I tell y'all again, Gen Xers used to be everywhere. Baby, I used to be down at the riverfront. We would ride our bikes to the school. We were all over the place. All over the place. But by the time them lights came on, your behind better be home. We explored. We traveled in packs and groups. Baby, let me say this. I love my high school experience. I enjoyed even more my college experience. But we had good times. Maybe we went to the dance at the rec. Maybe they would have a dance at the rec. Maybe we be at the recreation center pop locking. Okay, baby, we had a good time. In the 80s, you really danced too, because we ain't had too many fat people in the 80s, because baby, them dances was no joke. Okay, you really had to dance. It wasn't none of this trap music stuff with this slow beat. No. Baby, you was sweating. Baby, we come out sweating, get pneumonia. I mean, but it was different. I'm gonna tell you, I love my childhood. I love my child. I had a great freaking childhood. That was the high school portion. Then you knew friends from church. Because now, I know a lot of people had issues with fraternities and sororities. And if you had to hear me, you'll think I would have an issue. It's not for me. It ain't for everybody. It was not for me. But one thing I am going to say, because we have, come on. Okay, we be cabbage patching. You couldn't tell us ish. You hear me? Okay, you couldn't tell us ish. But if it wasn't for fraternities and sororities, we would not have the Bo cotillions and the cotillions for the ladies. So we socially got together. Now, one thing about my community that was different is we didn't have any classism. A lot of black people separate themselves, but in my community, and let me tell you how my community was, which is really interesting. Before that Kennedy Space Center came to my community, it was pure agriculture. It was oranges, oranges, oranges. If you've ever been to the Space Center, that was a whole orange grove. There are still orange groves at Kennedy Space Center right now. It's federal property, but there are orange groves everywhere. So that's what people did. And it wasn't until the Space Center came that people really started advancing. If you give people good jobs and education, you will see things change. So that trailer park and them projects and them homes, black people, let me tell you how bad Florida was, because people don't think Florida had racial issues. Look up Harriet T. Moore and you'll find out. My community was redlined. West of downtown, Florida Avenue to 520 to Fisk Boulevard to Poinsett, which is Rosalie Jones now. Black people were in that containment. You could not move out of that. So Virginia Park now is predominantly black, but in the day, it was predominantly white because black people could not move there. You could not move across 520. So a lot of us could not move to nicer areas because we were redlined. White people couldn't sell their houses to black people. So that's why a lot of us were in those neighborhoods. Doctors, lawyers, teachers, garbage men, maids, all lived in the same neighborhood. All lived in the same neighborhood. When they start lifting the redlining, the wealthier blacks moved to Levitt Park. And it's so funny that they moved to Levitt Park because the Levitts were very racist. But they moved to Levitt Park. They moved to all of these neighborhoods outside of the redlining area. A lot of black people stayed. They said, this is home. And we don't want to live amongst them people. So a lot of us stayed. But this is the difference. My mama and daddy went to school with a black man who was the president of the community college. They went to school together. And even though my family was working class, and this man was probably, by most standards, black elite, as that's what they call them, you know, but we mingled. We saw them at church. We, you know, I mean, everybody knew somebody, and everybody lived in the same neighborhood at once. So you couldn't be acting bougie, because we all was in the same boat. And when the people got out that boat, they didn't forget the people who stayed. So when we had Lynx, when we had the cotillion, when we had the boat cotillion, me, living in the hood, could participate in that because everybody knew each other. And the beautiful part is all black people came up. When you don't separate yourself and when you lift up the whole race, then everybody comes up. Everybody gets lifted. And I think that's a big thing. And that's one really interesting takeaway about how I was raised. Because if you live in DC, if you live in New York, if you live in Atlanta, you might not have that opportunity. Because those black people they ain't gonna mess with you. But in my community, we all knew each other. You know, we all knew each other. And so I think that's where I think that's where it's different because I had a lot of opportunity, and I think about that. And I lived in a very unique area, very unique, very unique. So there are some dark sides to my community, but there are some real bright points. And I mean, the dark points were that when before I got my car, and this is why cars were so appreciated in Florida, not because it was wealth, it was almost safety and a necessity. So I lived in the hood. Before I got my car, I would have to walk through my hood. Then I would have to cross the East Coast Florida Railroad. Trains would be coming all the time. A lot of us would be late because trains would stop right on the track, and so a lot of us, yeah, not only did we have to cross that railroad track, then we had to cross US 1, which is another major thoroughfare, then cross dangerous Florida Avenue. Now, we used to have a shortcut by the sheriff's office, but they got tired of these black cheering making that shortcut, so they closed the fence. Baby, this is why we got cars. Cars were a necessity. And in Florida, if you don't have no car, you screwed. Just like in Texas. If you don't have a car in San Antonio, you screwed. I was in Fort Lauderdale recently, and the colors of the houses resemble home. Okay, Fridge Nat. Liberian girl, because it's money, it's money, it's money, it's money, it's money. Orlando itself is not free. Um, it so if you ride through Atlanta on the B line, which now they call the beach line, you'll go through at least 5 tolls. 417 is a toll road. That's the loop around Orlando. The only free interstate or major highway in Orlando is I-4. It goes from Tampa to Daytona Beach. It does not take you where you want to go. I mean, that's the only free road, and it's always clogged up. Orlando is Disney City. It is Universal City. It is SeaWorld City. And you're going to pay. You're going to pay to go into Orlando, and you're paying to come out. The only free ride in Orlando is I-4. Now, you can take State Road 50, and every light in town going to catch you. I can't stand Orlando. I can't stand Orlando. What? Let me tell y'all something. Jacksonville is going to surprise some people. Jacksonville is still affordable in Florida. Jacksonville is the whole county. Duval County is Jacksonville, making it the largest city in the contiguous United States. Jacksonville, it's it's slow, but I can see the growth because Jacksonville has land to grow. Orlando is a big mess. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, you can't afford it. It's too expensive. The Villages is a mess. It's old people who don't retire from New York and New England, and they want to come down. And it's funny because when they get to Florida, then they get real Republican. And baby, they got carts and baby, the Villages is something else. The Villages is something else. But they hold a political tie in Florida. Now, one part of Florida that people don't go to is the middle part, Sebring, Lake Placid, as we call Lake Placid, Lake Wells. That's on 441. Those areas are growing too. Nothing ain't there, but it's cheap. And then when you pass that, baby, Immokalee, Belglade, Moorhaven, um, Pahokee, Indiantown, Clewiston. Oh, it gets Belglade. It gets real dicey, baby. That part of Florida look like some third world country. I went and I didn't think I was in Florida no more. And again, it's really funny because most, not all, but most Floridians, the only thing they know is the coast. The coast, even if you poor, the coast is still wealth. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, all of those wealth. Tampa, Naples, Sarasota, Fort Myers, wealth. Orlando, anything Orlando, Gainesville, even North Florida, which is like the rural Florida, is that type of Florida is real southern. But baby, when I tell you, when you get down to the muck, which is Lake Okeechobee, it start looking like little Haiti, little Puerto Rico, little Guatemala, and it's third world. When you see the living conditions of those people down there, I'm telling you, it's nothing but private prisons, sugarcane plantations. It's different. It's different. I went to the Walmart in Clewiston, baby. I was dressed to the nines, and everybody just sat and looked. I was looking for some organic, but baby, them people say organic. It was totally different. I had never been to that part of Florida. My journey on 441 stopped in Sebring, and the only reason why I knew about Sebring, Avon Park, Lake Placid, is because the band used to do competitions there. But once you pass those cities and get to Lake Okeechobee, it gets deep. You hear me? It gets deep. You don't even think you're in Florida no more. It's just like, am I in Florida? Am I in West Africa? It gets real deep. That's the part of Florida people don't see. Abject poverty. I mean, when I'm telling you, I went to Indiantown, I almost cried. You have a mixture of Black, Hispanic, and Caribbean people living there. It's bad. It's bad. Let me tell you, I never did. I went to the Strawberry Festival in Plant City, which they had just this past weekend. I went to the Florida Classic. That was something that we would go to. The Miami Jazz Fest. And that's it. I didn't do nothing. First of all, I didn't know anybody in Clewiston. I didn't know anybody in Belglade and Pahokee. I mean, yeah, I didn't know. And you didn't go there unless you knew something, or you knew somebody. It was not until my adult life that I went. And I'm like, if it was this bad in the 2000s, then I would hate to see this place in the 80s. Because you're right. It was crazy. I was shocked. I had never seen that part of Florida before. And I was driving, and Lake Okeechobee is at a higher elevation than the towns around it. So it's these dams that hold that lake back. And all it takes is a dam to burst, and baby, them towns gone. But it was creepy. It was creepy. It was creepy. And so all you saw was private prisons in sugarcane farms. And we used to eat sugarcane raw. The sugarcane man used to come. Mom and dad used to cut them sugarcane. We used to be chewing the sugarcane, not knowing where it came from. My whole y'all, I never seen Florida like that. Even the poorest part of Florida on the East Coast is much wealthier than the Okeechobee area. Tamarind, I would rather live on Tamarind. I would rather live in Overtown. I would rather live on Kings Highway in Jacksonville. OBT in Orlando than live in Okeechobee area. When I tell you poverty is no joke. No joke. Baby, when your dogs look hungry, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe people living in concrete bomb shelter looking apartments and y'all may not remember, but Belgrade had the highest HIV rate in Florida. It was terrible. And they don't have a lot of medical facilities. It was bad. It was bad. Clewiston is Lake Okeechobee, Moorhaven, Pahokee, Immokalee, all of those areas are by Lake Okeechobee. Yeah. Baby, the muck ain't no joke. The muck ain't no joke. And this one more place that I didn't know that poverty was so bad. Homestead in Florida City. If it wasn't for Homestead Air Force Base, Florida City and Homestead would be decimated. I have never seen so much poverty until I went down there. You see the gleaming lights of Miami, and you keep on going down that road, and you see it gets real bad in Florida City and Homestead. Really bad. And the only reason that Air Force Base is there is because Cuba is there. If Cuba wasn't a threat, that Air Force Base would be gone. Let me tell you something. They have poverty in North Florida. They have poverty in Central Florida. But I have not seen poverty like near Lake Okeechobee, Homestead, and Florida City. And then as soon as you cross that, there go the Keys. You can't get a house for less than $1 million in the Keys. And the sad part about Key West is that the people who work at the drugstores and the retail stores, they can't afford to stay in Key West. So they got to go to Marathon Island because the last trailer park in Key West, they took over. The only group of people that have weathered the storm well are the Bahamians that live in Key West. And I think where they live is a National Historic Site. So now they're not going to touch them. But the Bahamians still have their homes in Key West. Yeah, Pensacola is Alabama. Anything in North Florida from Tallahassee and beyond is Alabama, is Georgia. You know, Thomasville, Georgia is not that far from Tallahassee. You know, baby, they didn't have air conditioners in the projects in Florida. And they ain't had no air conditioning. Baby, they just started putting air conditioning in people's houses in Florida. Talking about the ocean breeze. Yeah, it ain't no ocean breeze bringing up them projects, baby. And them projects was made of concrete. Now, let me tell y'all something now. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna cap them projects down. Baby, when them hurricanes came, I would stay in the Florida project any day.
I wouldn't even stay at a millionaire's house. I would stay in the projects of Florida. Baby, when I tell you them projects made of concrete and them projects had them concrete ceilings and them iron doors, baby, ain't nothing getting in there. But them Florida projects are built tough. You hear me? Them Florida projects is built tough. I think the only thing can get in them projects is them flying roaches. Them flying roaches, baby, they call them palmetto bugs now. Them hoes is flying roaches. Baby, them flying roaches though, and them lizards, before the iguanas, we had lizards. Baby, they can find themselves anyway, but baby, no hurricane is gonna take that off them Florida projects. Them Florida projects are built tough. No, Octavius from West Palm Beach. I think he may be from Riviera Beach. Don't be lying. Palm Beach, Palm Beach has a population of about 9,000 people. West Palm Beach is where Octavius is from, and he close to Riviera Beach. Don't play. Now I'm gonna get Octavius about he's from Palm Beach County. I'll give him that. He's from Palm Beach County, but Octavius ain't from no Palm Beach. Octavius is from West Palm Beach, close to Riviera Beach. Don't play. There's a difference. It's like Daytona and Daytona Beach. Daytona is on the mainland, and Daytona Beach is the barrier island. Cocoa is on the mainland. Cocoa Beach is the barrier island. So you got to remember that you got Jacksonville, Jacksonville Beach. So, but people get it confused. So everybody just say Daytona Beach. But don't get it twisted. Palm Beach and West Palm Beach is totally different. They are not the same. Hold on, y'all. I'm coming into the office. Okay, you all, I am back. I just had to say hello to everybody. So anyway, you all, woo, let me get on in here. Let me see what y'all saying. Okay, let me see what y'all saying. Darcy, I didn't see any in Key West. hmm And Key West is not that big. You can walk through Key West. Homestead is developed now. Okay, no, they didn't have AC. They had no AC. They used to, now they do now. It would be inhumane not to have air conditioning in Florida now. Mm. Um, I don't know if the pork and beans are torn down yet. I don't think they are. I do know that they call it Liberty City, Liberty Square now. But yeah, but I'm gonna tell you what's getting ready to leave. Overtown is getting ready to go. Overtown is too close to the Arts District. Overtown is too close to um, money. Overtown is gone. The only thing that's going to be in Overtown are churches that don't sell out, but Overtown is gone. Overtown is too close to downtown. Yeah, Overtown is yeah. Yeah, anything that's close to Biscayne, anything that's close to downtown is gone. Oh yeah, hold on for a minute. All right, you all, I'm getting ready to head out. You all take care. I'll see you all maybe at lunch.